How's it going, folks? Back at it with another fucking video for you guys. I am fucking excited. I am here with Christine, the haunt girl. The one and only. You've seen her on YouTube. You know her blogs and everything like that. You saw her around Spook Show, just kicking it. Christine, how you doing today? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fucking amazing right now.
I'm fucking good.
Look at that. See, this ain't your average YouTube channel. You can do whatever you want on here.
So you're not monetizing?
No, I'm not looking for that. No. It's all cool. They're still going to put commercials on here, you know what I mean? But fuck it. Anyways, so let's just break it down into this real quick because I know you're probably really busy. Let's get into the first question. Haunt girl. How did that all started? Like what was like the stepping stone of that?
So I used to have a blog for my acting stuff. When I got out to LA, I was like, I'm going to do everything I can to be the most known up-and-coming actor. And so when I saw people had blogs, I made a blog for my acting. But I didn't really know what to talk about on it because I would just talk about like acting stuff. And then at Halloween, I basically would only blog about haunted houses. Okay. And it became so much that half of my blog was talking about haunted houses. And so my friends suggested that I separate the two because acting and haunted houses are very different things. And that people were following me as an actor. They didn't really care about haunted houses. Because it wasn't about me going to them. It was just, look at the haunted houses, it's so cool, Universal, da, da, da. And like, it wasn't about like me and my journey as an actor, a character at haunted houses, which I was also doing, but it wasn't like I was
about to ask
covering
that.
it.
Okay, yeah.
So eventually I split it off into the haunt girl. And then I was talking to people about escape rooms when I started doing escape rooms. And when I started, I was only doing haunted escape rooms. Like the Purge truck was my first room. Nice. Then I did the basement. So I said, well, these are just like haunted houses. Yeah. And so I put them onto the blog as well. And then it just kept growing. And pretty soon this little hobby that I had of kind of keep track of like what I'd done became this thing that people were reading. And they were just asking me. They were constantly hitting me up on Twitter, Instagram, or just finding me on Facebook and saying, hey, I read your blog and I want to know what you think about this one. And have you played this? Or what would you recommend for me? And so then I said, well, I should turn it into a list of like what I recommend because people keep asking my opinion. And I'm tired of just constantly Facebooking all these strangers and having to ask them a bunch of questions like, well, what do you like? What are your preferences? And like I still do that. If someone's coming into town, especially from like out of the country, and they're only going to be here for a few days and they really want like a kind of a customized opinion on what they should play based on their preferences, I'll help them and I'll message them back. But I mean, for a while, it got really overwhelming because escape rooms were new and haunts at Halloween time. People would message me through all of October and I'm just like, I don't have time to respond. I'm too busy doing haunted houses. Exactly. Because I do a lot. I mean, I go from like Thursday through Sunday night to haunts. Just every day. Just all those days? Yeah, I only have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off. And then later in the season, usually I do Wednesday too, like the last 2 weeks, if I can find anything open. It's just, anytime there's a haunt open, I'm at the haunt. I'm not on Facebook. That's awesome. So I get really behind during Halloween of keeping up with actually putting things on. Although this past year I got to do press events, so it was easier because I was doing a lot of live streaming and stuff too. So just kind of putting everything over right away and not doing a whole lot of editing. But nice. Hey, it's still pretty good. I'll just live stream the haunt and then I don't have to worry about editing it later. Exactly. It's just there. It's up. Just an easy way to get more stuff out there. That's really cool. So like, all right. So out of all the haunts you go to, like, what's like the one favorite one that you would say? Gosh. That's really hard because I like so many different haunts for so many different reasons. I mean, I have a special place in my heart for Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah. Because I was a character at Halloween Horror Nights for years. Nice. When they brought that attraction back after the break that they took, which was years ago, I was in the Asylum Maze when they first brought the haunted Halloween Horror Nights back. Oh, okay. I was in the Asylum Maze. And I remember getting to scare John Stamos coming through the haunt. Damn. And then like 3 days later, I was on set of ER working as an actor. And I was in a scene with John. And he introduced himself to me. And I was like, I met you a couple days ago. I made you scream. I was the girl that called you Uncle Jesse. And you ran out of the room. And he was like, oh, that was you. I was like, So like it was cool because of those memories, I'll always love Halloween Horror Nights. Even though when you go as a regular guest and you don't have a VIP pass and you're not at press night or employee night, it is miserable to stand in those lines.
Oh yeah.
Like it is the most miserable overall experience because you're just waiting all night dealing with a bunch of people who you don't want to deal with. Like it's just like, ugh. But the haunts themselves are really beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, they take a lot of time and effort.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And I know how they work, and I know a lot of the actors. So for a few years, right after I quit working there, we would go through the mazes. And this one time, oh my God, it was so much fun. I'm walking through, it was the one based on the singer. What's his name?
Alice Cooper?
I think maybe the Alice Cooper maze.
Really? Okay, nice.
It was one of those, I think it was Alice Cooper, but they were like the guys on the stilts were coming at you in the classroom scene.
Okay,
and then the music's playing really loud.
I never been to Horror Nights, so you tell me. I know, right? It's a shocker.
Oh,
it's a shocker. Yeah.
Okay, well, we can talk about that too. But so I'm going through anyway, and like one of my friends was working that knew me from previous years. He was working in the maze in character, and he comes out. And there are some girls behind us and stuff, and they were like freaking out. They're like, "What if they touch us? They're not supposed to touch us. They're gonna touch us. They're not gonna touch us. They're gonna touch us. They're not gonna touch us." And they're like, "I'm like, they're not gonna touch you, guys.
They're not
gonna touch you. They're not allowed to touch you here." And out of nowhere, this character comes out and sees me, grabs me, picks me up, and carries me out of the maze.
Those girls are just like, she lied to us.
Peeing themselves, right? They're just like,
oh my God.
They touched us! I'm like, they didn't touch you, they touched me.
Exactly.
But I was like, can you put me back in the maze? I want to see it. I'm not going to stand in line again because this is BS standing in line.
I know, right? Dude, like...
But I love Halloween Horror Nights for those reasons. I know a lot of the actors. I know Scott. I know those guys. Like I love that whole event. But because I have history with it, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, Queen Mary, I have a special place in my heart for that too because I actually saw the little girl in the pool area. The ghost. Really? But I thought it was like some sort of hologram thing that they had put in the maze.
But this was.
But it wasn't because then the little girl actor comes running in, and I was walking through by myself. Okay. Because I was on actually a day off from Universal. They let me go early that day because they ended up not needing me to fill in for somebody, and so I took the day and I ran down to Queen Mary directly from Universal and just went through everything alone. So I did the whole event by myself. But there was nobody to go with me because everybody that I knew was like already had plans for the evening because I found out really late.
It was like a last minute thing, so yeah.
And so I was like going through, and the little girl that was playing the ghost wasn't in the room.
Holy shit.
And so I saw the girl and I thought, and I was like looking at it like, that's just amazing. How did they make it look so real? That looks like an actual ghost. Like that's like an apparition, but it's got to be an effect because it's Halloween. It's a haunt. I mean, I was assuming
something's got to be fake. Yeah,
like some sort of projection or something. But I couldn't figure out where the light was coming from because projections you can see where the light's coming from. Like you can figure it out, especially if you've worked in the haunt industry enough. You know how things work, and I do magic, so I understand a lot of how things work. But I couldn't figure out where the light was coming from. And I turned around and I looked back, and it was gone. And the girl came running in, and she was dressed as the ghost. And she ran into me, and I was just like, "Hey," and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she apologized. I think she thought I worked there because I was by myself, and nobody goes through a haunt by themselves.
You'd be surprised.
But I mean, but just standing there, like looking at the pool, like no one's around, like. I think she thought I was like a manager or something, trying to figure out where she was. She's like, "I'm sorry," and I'm like, "Oh no, it's cool. I'm just a guest." She's like, "Oh," and then she like gets into character, and I was just like,
"That's too late. The magic's gone."
Cool. And I go, "Real quick though, before anyone else comes in, can you turn that effect back on?" She's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." What? And I was like, "Can you turn the ghost back on?" She's like, "I'm the girl." I was like,
no.
So I left and I went to the inn and I asked a couple of the different managers and people. I said, "How do you guys do that projection?" They're like, "We don't know what you're talking about." Like nobody knew what I was talking about. So I really do believe I saw the little girl. But maybe somebody's watching the video here and they know that they were screwing with me. Like, let me know. But I really do think I saw the girl because nobody knew what I was talking about. I've asked several people over the years, like, did that ever happen? Like, this was years ago. I mean, it's like. Gosh, before anybody had those kind of real effects, I think, in there.
I know, right?
And I was just like, is this So, Plus, I've stayed out on the boat, and I've done the ghost tours and stuff, and I've gone on the bowels of the ship with a psychic and all that. And, so I love that the ship's really haunted. So for that, I love that attraction. Just straight up, scaring and stuff. I mean, everybody... I don't know. I mean, even Six Flags has its moments where it's great. It just there's a really good home haunt, but they don't do it anymore. That I would have said is probably one of my favorites, but they haven't done it in a couple years.
Oh, really? What were they called?
Yeah, you're gonna ask me that right now.
It's cool if you don't remember. Big Worm. Okay.
Yeah, Big Worm.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know. One of the best boo scares that I've had, and just impressive overall, is probably 13th Gate in Baton Rouge. Are they in Baton Rouge or are they in New Orleans? They're in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
In Baton Rouge.
That's the one where they kind of like take you into the cemetery, right? It's like connected to a cemetery?
There's two. There's when you park and you go up toward the to buy tickets, on the right is the, like, across in the old parking lot. It's the original one, I think, is the cemetery. And that one was the one that really got me, like, there were people coming from above and below and the sides, and it was creepy. And then there was, like, the statue that looked just like something out of Doctor Who, like it was gonna just turn me to stone and send me back in time or something. And I was like, ah! Oh, shit. So I like that. I had also just watched the episode of Doctor Who that really scared me. So that was fun. I don't get scared easily, but when something weird, like, will stick in my mind, like, that thing will just stick with me.
Really?
You know, like, when you're like, oh, you know, monsters, blah, whatever. Like,
I'm scared. I get scared easily.
Oh, I don't get scared at all, really. I mean, it's very rarely that I get scared. I'm scared of electric shocks.
Oh, like the little, like the wires and stuff like that?
I'm straight up scared of electric shocks. Like, I don't care how small you think that electric shock is, I don't like it. No. So I just did an event maybe a week or two ago, and they got me pretty good. Really? Because they came in with a giant stick that looked like a big taser shocker stick for, like, animals. And it went off, and I was just like, ah! Because I thought for real I was getting shocked, and I was like, I don't want to get shocked. I hate it. Like, I'm not scared of the monsters. I'm not scared of the actors generally, but I freaking hate being shocked. I hated Freakling Brothers. Really? Hated it.
The Hell's Gates one?
Yes.
I'm trying to contact them.
Do you know how many times I got shocked in that thing? I hated it so much. It was just like, seriously? Like, could you all just stop with the shocks? Like, I don't like the feeling. It's not comfortable. It hurts. I don't want to go through an attraction and get hurt. Yeah. So there's, like, these chains hanging down at one point, and I went through it. I have carpal tunnel really bad in this hand, and I'm a ventriloquist, so it's really important that I don't injure myself. Yeah. And so I'm going through, and I was doing this so I didn't get hit in the face with these chains because they had shockers in them. And I'm like going through, and I hit this thing for the first time. I was like this. So there's a chain hanging, and my hand hits it, and I'm like, and I was in physical, like, pain, but I was in emotional shock because
you weren't expecting that.
I was like, oh, my hand is never going to work again because I have carpal tunnel and I'm getting shocked, and I already have nerve damage, and what if this causes more nerve? Like, my brain is going, like, I'm just thinking, like, my hand is going to be ruined. And I couldn't move it because I was just, like, frozen, and this actor came from behind me and, like, shoved me to get me to move because he could see I was just like, I was like, like, I can't function. Like, so if I get scared, I get, like, a different kind of scared. Not like a fun, like, oh. Yeah. Like, I usually go into, like, some dark place in my mind, like, I am slowly going to be injured for life now.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like, I get too invested, and I got,
well, because when I started doing haunts, there weren't this intense, like, crazy... You know, like, I also, in case you didn't watch my video, I absolutely hated the immersive haunt with the flour or cornstarch, whatever.
Oh, the 17 door? Okay, yeah, I did watch that one. That was the video that actually got me to, like, know who you were. Because, like, I was covering them too and everything like that after the second year of me going there, and then I saw your video come up, like, after the Christmas one, and I was just like, your thumbnail looks so, like, traumatized, and I was like, what did they do to this girl? Oh my god. And I watched it, and I was just like, okay, I can see, the cornstarch.
Like, I hated it.
I had to buy, these are like new Nikes. I had to buy a whole new pair because I cannot get that shit off of my shoes.
I threw my shoes out.
Yeah, like I did the same thing because I watched
tension ruined my shoes too. Every haunt that's immersive.
You've done tension?
Yeah,
oh
I was part of the, like, I started in like February of the first year.
Yeah.
And went all the way through haunt season with it.
That's the same guy who does the Lust Experience too, right? I'm pretty sure it's the same thing.
Yeah, so it was tension, then Lust, and then there's a new one, right?
It's
and
like,
they're doing something in Vegas as well. It's Darren Lynn Bousman and Clint Sears. Yeah, so so I know Darren and Clint from doing tension because I started out very early on in that experience where we weren't paying anything yet. We just had like signed up and people were calling us at night and stuff. And I wrote a review or did something about it on my site, on my blog. And Darren or Clint, I think it was Darren though, one of them in character calls me at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning from an unidentified number. And of course, I'm not like 19, 20 anymore. My friends don't call me at that hour.
Yeah.
So I'm laying in bed, my phone rings, which usually my ringer's off anyway. My phone rings and I was like, an unidentified number. And the first thing that I thought was somebody died.
Oh,
and my family, my parents or whoever called me from like the hospital in Indiana trying to let me know that somebody died and I have to fly home. Like my mind goes to this place of like real fear, like adult fears.
Yeah, it got too real right there.
So I answered and it was like this scary voice like, Christine, we've seen what you've done and it's good in the light. And I was like,
oh my God.
Oh, thank God. Oh, yeah. For most people, it would be the
Yeah.
opposite. They'd be like, oh, my friend's calling. Well, what's this creepy voice?
Yeah.
You know? I was just like, somebody died, somebody died. Oh, thank God, it's just tension.
Okay. It's just some random people
it's just different.
that
I'm a different. Yeah, I did. Have you seen Jake also?
Nice.
Which that one I stopped doing that one because I have an injured knee and I specifically put it in there so they wouldn't hurt me and they ended up taking a hammer and hitting me in the knee and I was just like, I can't.
Oh my God.
Like I like them. They're nice. I don't think they intentionally did it. They didn't think that they would hurt me, but I'm just too easily injured these days. Like I have enough old injuries from life that I don't need to take a chance of getting injured, which is why I opted out of being thrown into the ball pit at the 17
door. Yeah.
I mean, I just jumped into a ball pit the other day, and I'm still feeling it. And it was just for fun. Like I just jumped into like the DuckTales.
Where do you find a random ball pit? Like
when you do
in
Instagram
Hollywood.
in LA, you find a lot of random ball pits.
Really?
Yes, I've been in a sprinkle pit. I've been in a ball pit, and the one I jumped in a couple days ago was the DuckTales money pit. It was all the coins for Scrooge.
Okay.
So they have the Scrooge money pit that they're doing a promo for DuckTales, and it was at the mall.
Nice.
So we went there on Saturday, and this is Tuesday, and I woke up this morning and my knee is still swollen because I jumped intentionally into a ball pit.
Okay.
I'm still sore. So like I don't do very physical haunt things anymore. Like if there's crawling, I usually say, can someone else do it? Is there a way around it? Because I know that like I have certain injuries that just act up, and as I get older, it doesn't get any easier.
It's not gonna get easier, no.
So, favorite haunt. This is really long.
It's cool. No, it's cool.
My favorite haunt. I really like. I loved tension too. I'm gonna say this one is completely not what I would probably normally go with, but I'm gonna say the Purge Truck. Okay. It was an escape room and a haunted house, and it was my very first time doing anything that immersive or interactive. And it was in the back of a semi, and it was incredible. And when we got shot at the end with the machine guns, I freaking flipped out. I was laughing so hard and like giggling like some sort of kid who just got like the biggest sugar rush. I was just like, we got shot! Now I don't like getting shot. P.S. I don't like getting shot. Don't like try to get me to come to your haunt if it's just a bunch of guns, because I'm not gonna like it. Because there's too many real world things. But back when I did the Purge Truck, it wasn't we weren't aware of like school shootings. We weren't as aware of as we are now, because it wasn't as prominent in society the way it is now. Like, you know, I mean, we had Columbine, but that was kind of the biggest school shooting that I'd ever heard of, and it wasn't like I heard about kids having like I didn't grow up with metal detectors in my school, so it wasn't such a big deal. But now I really don't like gun violence in haunts, especially like Freakling Brothers, where it's like every other scene, I swear they're shooting somebody. Like I was just like, oh, we're going to do a firing line in Vegas a month or month and a half after there was an incredibly bad shooting at a concert that everyone is still mourning from, and you're going to put us in a firing line and shoot at us? Like, in poor taste, P.S. Like,
A little bit.
Think about it.
Yeah.
There's haunts and there's fun and there's scary and then there's that. And that was just, to me, in poor taste. So that's the other reason I didn't like Freakly Brothers.
Yeah. Out of that whole rant, you brought up two things that I was like really questioning, like what to do on a topic for this podcast, which is one of like ghost stories. Like, you know, you obviously I'm assuming you're a believer now after seeing seeing the little girl, the Queen Mary.
I had a ghost save my life and I was in college. So ever since then, or spirit, whatever you want to call it, I had an entity save my life in college. From a really bad car accident. I was driving really fast when I shouldn't have been, in the middle of the country, trying to get to a friend's house to party, and there was a herd of deer standing on the other side of a small hill, so I wouldn't have seen them, and I was in a little car. I was going like 70 something, like with no street lights, like middle of the country. And I had this thing happen where it basically stopped me. Like I got scared. I got spooked by seeing this thing in the road. And so I slowed down, and I slowed down just enough that I could stop by the top of the hill. And so when I came over the hill, I started to go again. There were deer standing there. And if I had been going that fast and hit those deer in a little Dodge Shadow, I wouldn't have survived.
Something would have gone through, like, you know, through the windows. Something would have happened.
There's no way I would have survived that. There were too many deer in the road. And they just stood there like deer in headlights. 'Cause that's what they do. That's what deer in headlights are supposed to do. They stare at you.
They just stare at you.
But that was the first time that I really, really was like completely sure that there's something else out there. Like I'd heard like things as a kid. I'd seen things. I had premonitions and psychic visions as a child when I was like in second grade. In third grade, I knew our house was going to burn down 2 days before it happened. Like there was stuff like that where I always knew there was something else out there. But when that happened in college, I was just like sold on the fact that like somebody was watching out for me. Whether it was an angel or God or a spirit, somebody was helping me not die that day.
Something not like human.
There's no reason for me to be driving that fast at like 2:30 in the morning anyway. But I was determined to get to that party. And when you're young, you don't think about consequences as much as you do as you grow older and realize you know this happened to people because of consequence. Like you start to realize like, oh, it could affect you. Yeah. But as a kid, I was like, I'm gonna drive really fast.
No, I get you.
So yeah, and then the Queen Mary thing. We've stayed at not an Airbnb, just a regular B&B before Airbnb was a thing. We stayed at a B&B where there had been a what's it called when all the kids live in a place?
Like an orphanage?
Yes.
There we go. It
was like an orphanage or a girls' school or something like that.
Yeah.
And formally, and then it turned into a B&B in San Francisco, and we were staying there, and in the middle of the night, we had the water turn on in the bathroom and the TV turn on at like the same time. I slept through it. My husband was just like freaking out. He didn't wake me up. I was like, you should have woke me up. No. But also, I was making fun of a painting in the room, and the light blew, and like we just thought, oh, it's coincidence. Like we kept saying it was coincidence until like the water in the sink turned itself on. Like that's something different. Yeah. So I was like, okay. But we have somebody in here, I think, too. I'm like, I don't see him, but sometimes at night the cats come over to this corner and they stare out at the other couch in front of the TV, and they'll just stare at like the same place, and the TV will come on its own, and I'm just like, hey, can you not do that right now? I'm trying to sleep. You're not paying electricity, you know, have some. Cats are kind of freaking out, and I really just want to go to sleep. Exactly. So I just kind of like, as long as there's nothing bothering me, like if you go, there's this old hospital in LA that we went to, and if you go downstairs, there's a really nasty feeling, and it feels like something evil is there. And I've done that. I've been there with that, and we've seen the chair like it moved across the hallway and like stuff like that. That was a different feeling. Like the thing in my living room is just somebody that likes to watch TV, apparently. Yeah,
I know, right? Late at night.
So hopefully the camera is not acting up. Like,
I'm hoping so too.
He's not coming over and screwing with it. I don't know why I think it's a him, but I think it's a him.
Feels like a male presence.
I think so. Like the cats, they usually like women better, so I'm guessing because they don't like it so much. I just assumed it was a guy.
Definitely. I saw one of your cats like hiding behind the couch. I thought it was another one of these pillows, but then it moved, and I was like, oh shit, it's a real one.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. How many cats do you have?
2.
You have 2. Okay, nice. That's good.
Yeah,
and what
Bagheera
are the names?
and Stitch.
What was it?
Bagheera and Stitch.
That's from Jungle Book, isn't it? Oh my god,
and
that's
Stitch
so
is
fun.
from Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch, of course. Yeah. That's awesome.
I tried to call her Scrump, but she didn't answer. She didn't like the name Scrump, so eventually I changed it to Stitch.
Really? I can't imagine a cat answering at all. I had a cat named Jetta because we found her underneath my mom's like 2000 Jetta. Yeah. So yeah, she responded a few times, but like most of the day it was just like talking to a wall.
Oh no, my girl's Bagheera doesn't know she's a cat.
Really?
And Stitch is definitely a cat.
Okay.
But Bagheera was abandoned at a Petco in a paper bag when she was just a week old or something. She was very, very tiny. And they found her in the morning when they came into work. And so this other girl who looks a little bit like me, I guess, people say that they think she looks like me because the cats that she raised had no problem coming to me. And I was like, okay. I think they just like people.
Yeah,
like, I don't think that we look alike, but anyway, she raised them, she bottle fed them, and the brothers all got adopted first, and then Bagheera was the only one left, and she was just chilling at in the little cage at Petco, and I was like, can we adopt her? And they were like, yeah, but not yet. You gotta wait till she's older. And so we had to wait till she was bigger because she was only like a pound. She was so tiny. God. She didn't want to grow. She was just tiny.
Damn.
So we brought her home before she could even be fixed. She was too small to get fixed, and I raised her from there's a picture of her when she was adopted on my shoulder. She's just tiny. This little thing. I'm like, there's a little thing on my shoulder.
I know, right?
But she was much older than she looked. And she never really got that big. She got kind of a tiny head.
Okay,
everyone's like, it's adorable.
Head?
I'm like, she's got a tiny head.
Just a tiny little head.
But she's part Bengal, we think.
What's Bengal?
Bengal. She's like
Bengal tiger, or?
Like kind of like the cat, the breed of cat. They're
that's right.
Spots and stripes. We think mixed with that, even though they say you can't verify that really because there's no paperwork, so she's not Bengal. But she acts like when she loves water, she plays in water. She can jump really, really high. Nice. When she was only like maybe 2 pounds, she could jump almost as high as like. She probably about 7 feet. Yeah, like not the high ceiling, but the regular ceiling.
Oh, that one. Okay, definitely.
Yeah, she could jump almost there. She'd just jump up and I'd throw paper and she'd just jump up and grab it.
Oh shit!
But it was at least 6 feet because it was above my head, and I was just like throwing it, and she'd just jump up and grab it. And I was like, oh, she jumps. And Stitch is an Abyssinian mix, we think. And she doesn't like water, and she meows a lot. And she's a little bit different personality. But she's also, she lived in the flower garden outside. She was abandoned. She was a feral cat. We think she was abandoned from the lady down the street. When the kittens were really little, the lady passed away, and the guy came back to like clean out the house. Because she just lived there. She didn't own the house.
Yeah.
And he found the cats and just kind of booted them out on the street.
Oh, so sad.
And so we think she's one from that litter. But she lived outside for months, and finally they called animal control, so I just grabbed her and I brought her in. I was going to take her to a no-kill shelter, but Bagheera loved her, and so they got along, and so we kept her.
That's nice.
So both our girls are rescues.
That's awesome.
If you want to get a pet, you should adopt a rescue.
Look at that.
Don't go and buy a breeded
message.
cat or dog. Rescue somebody who needs a home.
Exactly.
Because they're amazing. And they do tricks. They do high five, and they'll like sit and like they'll come up and stuff for treats. They won't do it just for fun. They'll only do it if I have food.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But they know how to do it.
Even then, like that's amazing.
And they get kisses, and Bagheera will dance with me. Like if I stand where she can be like on the table, she'll put her paws up on my shoulders and she'll do a little dance and she'll kiss my nose.
That is adorable. My
cat.
For food,
but only for food.
My cat was an asshole.
Oh.
When my little sister was learning how to walk, she would wait like she'd be like hearing my little sister coming down the hallway. She'd wait at the edge of the hallway, like on the couch, so she's at like good head level of my little sister, and she just wait till she gets closer and just got her right in the forehead a few times. Poor girl. Yeah.
My cats aren't mean.
That's good. That's good. No.
Stitch will chirp at birds all day too if I let her.
Really?
She goes. It's weird. There's a lot of videos of her on Bagheera has all the social media.
Yeah.
So it's at Bagheera Fun. But Stitch is on all of Bagheera's social media because I didn't want to have to do 2 separate cat accounts because it's a lot of work just to do one, and then to have 2 would be too much.
Yeah.
So it's like Bagheera's opinion of Stitch. So it'll be like, if I post a video of Stitch on Bagheera's account, Bagheera's comment will say something like, my stupid sister won't shut up with these birds or whatever. Like it'll be something like from Bagheera's like point of view. Yeah. So she's just like, isn't my sister weird? I was like, okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they do their thing. I'm gonna.
Yeah, no problem.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Just caffeine addict.
I know, right? Oh man. So another thing I wanted to talk about too was you mentioned about like your whole injuries and everything like that about certain haunts. When haunts go too far, we were talking. You mentioned Freakling Brothers and everything like that. 17th Door, you obviously didn't like. I feel like sometimes on their, on some of their messages that they do send out, they do go a little too far, but it's not in bad taste. It's just kind of pushing a limit. Like, with the whole prison stuff, you know what I mean? It's like, no one really feels comfortable with rape, you know what I mean? But yet they still do it kind of like in front of you.
Yeah.
There's like that stuff.
I have a lot of emotional, like, judgment call problems with that Halloween version of the attraction. I didn't really have a problem with much in the Christmas version, except when they were like on top of me in the bed in the prison.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I freaked out a little too, yeah.
But part of it is, I don't like the idea of that, but part of it is just like, as a woman that has dealt with stuff in her life, I don't want things to remind me of dark places in my personal life.
Exactly.
That I don't want to think about. So why would you bring that up? Like, that's not scary. It's just unpleasant.
Exactly.
So it's different. Like, I think making something unpleasant, to me, is not fun in a haunt. I don't want unpleasant things. I want scary things. Or cool, like, effects that are in the world of horror and scary and whatever. Like, I don't want to think about school shootings.
Yeah, that's the
I don't want to think about rape. I don't want to think about abortions. Those aren't scary to me.
It's like there's...
I mean, they're scary, but not in a fun way.
There's like, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to do like a whole psychological horror, because like gore can be like too, like, I guess you would say cliche. But psychological horror, that's like starting to come up a little bit now. I've noticed that with like Blackout. And like other like haunts like that.
I've never done Blackout.
Neither have I, but I've watched the documentary with the creator of Tension and Lust Experience. He was in that documentary quite a bit. Yeah, and it's like, I understand, but there's like so much other stuff that they can do with psychological things that doesn't have to involve those three main topics out there. It's like
so if you haven't done the new I don't want to say the name wrong. It's Murder Co.
The Escape Room by Johnny Cook from Winds of Plague. I was actually looking to do that.
It's Murder Co., but there's another name. It's the
like Black Market or something.
Black Market. Yeah, I don't want to say it wrong.
No, everyone.
It's Murder Co.
Yeah, Murder Co. Yeah.
And if you haven't done that yet, I highly recommend that to everybody. It is one of my new favorite experiences. I'm not going to say it's my favorite haunt or it's my favorite escape room, because it's not really either one of those things.
Really?
It's kind of a new hybrid of those things, similar to the Saw escape room in Vegas, which is
That's right, you went to that, yeah.
Also not really a haunt, but not really an escape room. It's just some sort of hybrid experience that's really fun, and it's immersive, but it's not like extreme haunt immersive where you're going to leave covered in stuff and feeling like you just saw something you didn't want to see or do something you didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I really highly recommend Murder Co. because they play, in my opinion, with emotional and psychological horror in a way that's really fascinating. And I think it really makes you question yourself and your beliefs in a way that I think is really cool and important and awesome. And I loved that experience. I did not feel that way about 17th Door.
Yeah.
I felt like they were doing things that were just trying to make me uncomfortable. I did not feel like they were putting me in a place that was making me question society or question myself or psychologically testing or pushing me at all.
It was just kind of like, we just want you to feel kind of disturbed.
Yeah, we're like, we're just going to have someone shoot themselves in front of you in a school.
Exactly.
How do you feel about that? Like, well, obviously we all feel like that was gross. Like, we don't want to see that. It's not scary. It's not fun. It's not pushing my limits. It's just uncomfortable. Yeah. And it just kind of made me angry. And that's just my personal opinion, and maybe other people feel differently.
There's still a good haunt. Like, I love 17th Door.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them for what they do. They're just not my kind of thing.
Exactly.
They're not my style. And they know that. I talked to a lot of them, the people that worked at it. Yeah, so when I ran into you for the first time, there was a lot of people who came up and they were like, "Oh, you're the haunt girl. You were one of you're the haunt girl." I was like, "Oh, hi," which was kind of a new experience for me because a lot of people on social media know me as Christine or they know me as Puppet Girl. Okay. But not a whole lot of people that I run into will call me the haunt girl. So to have so many people like point me out and be like, "Oh, I watched your video," And I'm like, which one? I'm like, the one about the Christmas 17th. I was like, oh.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, cool. And they're like, yeah, I was in that attraction. And I was like, oh.
Oh, shit.
Oh. I mean, it's not that I don't like you guys. I just didn't like the experience for me. And they're like, no, it was great. Because the way that I explained it and went about it, like, I really did say, this is something I hated, but you should try it and see if it's for you, because you might love it or you might hate it too, but you won't know until you go. And I think that's what the documentaries do too. They say, here is what happens. You should try it for yourself and see if it's your thing. It's not my thing. I don't think blackout would be my thing. I'm willing to try it. I don't think I'll like it. There's another one that has talked to me a few times, and they want me to come try their experience. It's immersive. And I'm like, I would do it if it didn't cost me a bunch of money.
Oh, it's one of those? Yeah, okay.
And if you want to invite me to come and do it and just talk about it, that's okay. I'll do that. I'm not going to lie just because you comp the thing either. Like, I'm not that person. Like, if you comp an experience for me, that's awesome and I appreciate it. I'm still going to be honest about whether I liked it or not.
Of course,
and if I really, really didn't like it in a way that I'm not going to be a positive angle at all about it, I'm willing to just not review it.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that. Just, I'll let people know if they ask me privately. I'm not going to go and slam a company and try to tell people not to go because it's that bad. If they were kind to me and they're nice people, like, I'd rather not. Like, I do have the escape rooms occasionally where I'll go play a room and I'll really think everyone's really nice and they wanted me to come and, like, beta test it or something. And I'm like, this was not, the puzzles didn't make sense. This was really poorly done. This is poorly executed. There's no good design at all in this room. Like, I would not recommend anyone to come try this room because you don't have, it's not there yet. And rather than going online and saying that to everyone, I try to give them, a couple of months to change it, and then usually invite me back, and then I'll see if it's improved, and I'm like, okay. And if it hasn't, then I'll just be like, you probably shouldn't have me review your room.
Exactly. I get you on that.
I don't want to put you out of business. I don't want to lie to people, but so I'm just not going to say anything.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's
like what everyone's mama says. If you don't got nothing nice to say, you don't say nothing at all.
Now, if I pay to go play a game, or if I pay to go to an escape room or a haunt or anything, an experience, and it's bad, like, not like it's bad, like, I don't like it. I mean, it's bad, like,
it's just not scary. Like, it's not, like, doesn't make sense.
They just put some white powder on and called it makeup or something. Like, if it's just bad, like, I usually will review it if I paid for it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's just if someone has asked for my feedback specifically and brought me in as, like, a beta tester or something, or brought me in like, a pre-version, that I will be like, no, I don't want to talk about this online yet.
I get you.
You still have time to fix it before you open it to the public. I'm not going to ruin your opening because of it. So, like that. But anyway, so I got distracted. Where were we? We're talking about haunts and pushing too far.
Yeah, pushing too far.
So I think that there are certain things for me that are not psychologically fun haunt things. I do haunts because they're fun.
Yeah.
I don't do haunts because I want to go home and question my existence and my life and my reality and whether or not this planet is such a bad planet I need to remove myself from it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to leave a haunt feeling like our society is so far downhill, there's nothing I can do and I am devastated. So going to a haunt where they're shooting someone in front of me and then they're shocking me and then they're shooting me and then they're like, I don't find that fun.
I get you.
I don't want to watch somebody raped. I don't want someone to pretend like they're going to rape me. I don't want anything to do with rape. I don't find that a fun topic.
Exactly.
I don't want anything to do with that topic. It's not my topic.
It's not.
Maybe other people don't mind it. I don't know. I don't think making light of it is good either. The only way to use it in an experience is to make a point that this is a horrible thing and this is what women are going through or men are going through. There are a lot fewer men that get raped than women, I think, but it still is a thing. That, if they want to make that point to make people who don't know what it's like feel the tension and the experience of it, but without telling us ahead of time, how do you know that, that it's there? And if you've already experienced something like that yourself, you don't want to relive it.
Exactly.
That's not fun.
Exactly.
So it's hard. I mean, because it's like you're taking that chance as a person going through an experience that there's going to be something that's going to trigger you. And being triggered in that way, to me, it's not going to be a good experience.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? There was
that one. I wanted to bring up.
And then there was another, like, bad topic.
Oh, abortion.
Oh, an abortion.
Yeah.
I just don't like that topic.
Yeah.
I just, it kind kind of felt like an old hell house a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The first year that I went to 17th door with the lit girl in the bathroom.
Yeah, and the college and
like
stuff
it just
like
felt
that.
kind of like an old hell house. That I never got to go to one of those, but I always wanted to. But then I was like, maybe I wouldn't have liked that either, because I was and like I just felt like they did things for shock value, not to make a point. Tension and Murder Co. I felt are very different. So Murder Co. puts you in a position where you have to make choices that you kind of question your own, like, morality, I guess.
Yeah,
like you're like
conscience and stuff like that.
Yeah,
your
you're
own
like,
conscience.
wait, is this the decision that I can make? Even though it's fake. Like
Yeah.
I get it's fake, but you're still making the decision. It's just like if you were put in a situation, a haunt, where you had to choose who's going to die.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's cool psychological tension. That's making you think about your personal beliefs and why you're thinking it's okay to choose to kill anyone. And would you allow yourself to be the choice to save your friends? Or, that to me is different. Kind of like that new movie, Truth or Dare.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it, yeah.
Well, if you watch Truth or Dare, like, something like that, to me, that psychological choice, that is thrilling. That is good psychological horror. Watching someone do an abortion to herself is not.
Yeah,
It's just gross.
Kind of like, really
and
gross.
Poor taste.
Yeah.
Tension was very big on that too. Tension, the very first day that I did an immersion thing with Tension, we didn't know who they were. Darren hadn't been announced yet. Nobody knew who was doing the experience. I'd never done immersive theater like this before. So I go downtown LA by myself at sunset,
Oh my God.
stand on the corner of like this bus stop area, wait for my phone to ring, answer it, hold my hand up so this girl comes and finds me, and then she puts a hood over my head, I think. She
Oh my
blindfolded- she
God.
hooded me. She hooded me and walks me down the street in downtown LA. I don't know who she is. I don't know who's behind the experience. I don't know if it's a real cult or not. I don't know
Oh
anything.
my God.
And I'm walking down, I'm just trusting that this is some sort of
Just,
like
this is all
possible
part of the show.
acting thing. Like, we didn't know it was a
Yeah.
show for sure.
Okay, yeah.
We didn't know whether it was real or not
That's true, okay.
because it was brand new. And so I'm going down, and I go in. They take me to a building, and I had to go in an elevator. Like, I remember all of it pretty clearly for not having been able to see anything. And then they made me stand for what felt like an eternity. And people walked by me, and they walked up to me, and they whispered, like, "Why do you deserve to be here?
Oh my
Are you
God.
a good person?" And you're just standing there in darkness.
my God.
You don't know who these people are, and you keep hearing these questions that question, "Are you a good person?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Do you deserve to be here?" And is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, you don't know what you're about to go.
Yeah.
Then they walk us down this other hallway, and then they stand us in front of a mirror in a dark room with candles around, and they take the hood off, and they say, "We want you to take your phone out and unlock it and hand it to us." We don't know who these
What
people
the fuck?
are. And I'm like, all right, here you go.
You're gonna see my nudes. No, like you can't.
Well, that's
oh
why
my
I don't
God.
keep nudes on your phone.
I know, right?
But keep them in the cloud. No, so I hand my phone over to some complete strangers, and they ask me these questions like, "Are you a good person?" And then like, "What's important in your life?" or "Who's important in your life?" And I remember at one point they asked me something. It's all in my blog. I wrote about it, and I think I did a video about it. But this was the one that they actually called, I think, and said, like, "Thank you for doing this," or "Good, you did good in the light," or whatever. It was because they read about this experience, and I put the picture in it because they took a picture on my phone of me standing in front of the mirror and like left it on my phone for me to find later. It was really cool. But anyway, so I'm standing there, and they asked me a question about like what's important to me or who's important to me. Or who are my family or something like that. And I was like, well, my cat's my husband. And they were like, why did you, they like interrupt me. They're like, why did you say your cat's before your husband? And I was like, that's a good question. Like, why would I think of, I mean, I knew because I was just seeing my cats.
Like, yeah.
And like, I see my cats all day long every day. And like, I see my husband in the evening and in the weekends. Like, I don't really see as much of him. So when I think of like home, the first thing I think of are the cats because I also take care of them.
Yeah.
I don't take care of my husband per se. Like, we are a team. My cats depend on me. So I think of them. But I had to like go over that in my head. Like, I was like, well, why did I say my cats? Do I love my cats more than my husband? I don't think I do.
Oh my God.
I love my cats and my husband. Like, I love my husband and my cats. Is there a way to say that right? Like, and like you start, that to me is interesting. And that is really psychological, like horror. That's a way to mess with someone.
Exactly.
To make them question why they mention their cats before their husband.
That is
Are
true.
they a good person? Are you a good person? If you love your cats more than your husband, are you a good person? You know, like, or
depends
do,
who you're
or
talking
do.
to.
Yeah, you know, but you start thinking these. That was interesting to me, and then to eventually meet these characters and go through all the psychological stuff for months, and then to go to the experience and have to strip down in front of the actors. You take your clothes off in front of actors.
Oh shit! Okay.
And they put you have to put a jumpsuit on, and then they like you have to trust them. They're putting eye drops that burn like son of a bitch in your eyes. And like you have to tilt your head back, and in this like ceremony, they drop eye drops of these burning like Asian eye drops in your eyes, and then they put blindfolds over you. Then they make you drink vinegar and eat some sort of gel stuff, and like I get really sick, by the way, because apparently vinegar has gluten, but I didn't know that. I learned the hard way.
Oh, you celiac, right? That's the word. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, why am I not feeling so hot all of a sudden? So I learned I don't drink vinegar now just because it might be malt vinegar.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they also whipped us and like pushed us around, tied our hands together, dipped our hands in hot wax, and like I mean there was a lot of different things they did physically to us that pushed us, but I didn't get injured.
Yeah.
Where some of these other intense extreme things, they try to push you until they can aggravate old injuries or they can actually hurt you.
Yeah.
And you could always get accidentally hurt.
Yeah,
but,
no matter what you do, yeah.
But this was like, you know, I felt pretty safe with attention people. And I felt like they really knew who we were because they had gotten to know us for such a long time. But we watched our friend die in front of us. And I didn't ever get to see the scene, but there was another scene where apparently there is an execution style murder of a guy in front of everyone where they hold a gun to his head and shoot him in front of the participants, and the participants get splashed with like the blood or something. I don't know if that, like, I didn't get to see it, so I'm not sure if that's how it happened, but that was how it was explained to me multiple times by people who got to see that scene. But they also put me into a room full of TVs that were on static. And I'm talking like a 3x3 foot.
Yeah, like the old
all the
like
way
TVs,
to the ceiling.
like top, like.
But they were like the old square TVs, but it was like a 3 foot by 3 foot room, completely surrounded with televisions that were on static, all the way up to the ceiling of like a warehouse.
That's
and you're just
creepy.
standing in this like little tunnel of TVs, like that sort of thing. So it plays with your sense of like safety, but not in a way where you're ever in danger or hurt. It plays with your sense of like what is okay and what is wrong, and like with like moral decisions, not just like hanger abortions.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna keep coming back to those guys.
Yeah,
They're
it's
just
cool,
not
you
my
know?
thing. But like I said, there are people who like that sort of thing, and they find that to be a test of. I don't know. I feel like if what is my thing going? Stop. Oh. I thought I put my phone on silent.
Oh, it's cool. Don't worry about it.
And I went and followed the dog and forgot to put it back on silent. So
Oh, that's fine.
But yeah, so hold on. I can't get it to go into airplane mode.
Oh, it's cool.
Go
It's
into
cool.
airplane mode, phone. For a person who uses their phone as much as I do, you'd think I could find airplane mode.
It's always like when you're trying to rush it, like at the movie theaters. That's like when I cannot like silence my phone if I forget to.
Oh, there we go.
Like if it starts ringing out of nowhere.
But yeah, so I feel like if you're a person who has to question whether or not an abortion is
like good or bad.
a good or bad thing. I mean, like, I understand in certain situations, and I'm not saying I'm pro-life or pro-choice or whatever, like, that is a completely different discussion, but I don't think there's any point where any person really thinks that giving yourself an abortion with a hanger is a good choice.
Yeah.
And if you're a person who has to deal with that struggle of whether or not that was a good choice, maybe the haunt community isn't the first thing you should be worried about. Like, there's some other things you need to work through in your life.
Maybe you should like take a break from certain haunts, you know, because
they
get like really like they really get like really in your face, and it's like I have like certain friends, they won't do it because they just like emotionally and like mentally aren't like, I don't want to say they're not unstable,
right?
But they know for sure that they'll get like really offended, or they'll get like really like insulted, I guess you're the perfect word to say. It's like they're just things in their head will trigger, and wouldn't be a good night for anyone. So it's,
we don't want people to be triggered by real life trauma.
Yeah.
But that's, to me, that's not a fun haunt.
Exactly.
Don't traumatically trigger a bunch of people. Like, granted, if you have PTSD from war, maybe going to extreme haunts just isn't your thing. You shouldn't do it anyway.
Anything with gunshots, you probably shouldn't
like,
do.
you should probably just not do that. But, like, why is it so difficult for some of these haunts that are immersive to just create a fun experience that is psychological and whatever without having those really common triggers in them.
Exactly.
Like, be more creative. That's how I feel about it. Be better.
Be a little, just like work a little harder.
Be a better haunt.
Exactly. There we go. That's perfect advice right there.
That's my opinion.
Definitely. So since we're talking about like extremeness and everything like that, there's always the one name that comes up, at least like, in the group of people I talk to when it comes to like, would you ever do this? And that is McKenny's Manor. Would you ever?
I can't.
You can't. Oh yeah. Besides, like, if it wasn't for the knee and the arm and the hand, like, you think you'd be?
No.
No.
Now, a few years ago, yes.
Okay.
When I didn't realize what it really was.
Okay.
I don't know him personally. I've talked to him on the phone. He seems like a very nice guy on the phone.
Yeah.
I've heard he's a little nuts in real life, but I don't know because I don't know him. But I do think his haunt is not the safest. I don't know if I really personally consider it a haunt. It to me is more of torture.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to be tortured.
There we go.
Like, I don't even enjoy electric shocks in a fairly standard haunt. Like, I don't want to be tortured.
Exactly.
It's not fun. Why would you want to do that to yourself?
Exactly.
I'm also not going to go do Naked and Afraid on television.
No.
So, like, doesn't look fun to me. Don't know why you'd want to do that.
Seeing this naked is not going to be fun for anyone. The actors will be more scared of this than I would be of them.
Do you know Naked and Afraid?
I've heard of it. I've seen
It's like two people, they just show up in the wilderness naked and they have to stay there for like a week or whatever. I don't know how long it is. It's a long time.
Yeah, no,
it's too long to be just naked and afraid.
I don't know why. I have like a really bad fear of splinters. Like, because I think as soon as I get one, it's going to get infected and I'm going to die.
I'm not going to walk around barefoot in the woods.
Exactly.
Sorry. My one item would be shoes. I'd be like, I'm bringing some fucking water shoes.
Shoes. And then maybe like, I don't know what else, but I probably just
because you get one, like you get to bring like one thing. Most people bring like a knife or something, like a fire starter, something logical. I'd be water shoes. I'd be like, sorry, we're gonna starve and we're gonna be cold, but I'm gonna have water shoes because I'm not walking barefoot in the jungle.
Hell no.
But yeah, so like there's certain things that other people think are really fun. I'm not that person. Torture's not my thing. I'm not a huge fan of being whipped. I mean, I've been whipped for experiences. Don't really like it. Don't really understand why other people like it.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. I mean, I actually, the reason I talked to him on the phone is because I tried to apply to be on the wait list for it.
Really?
Years ago. Before I'd ever done any attention or any of that stuff. So this is way back when I first started doing like haunts, like kind of like hardcore. Yeah. I talked to him and I said, I really want to come do your event. And he was still in San Diego. And he was like, well, I don't think I can let you do it. And I said, but I really want to.
Oh.
Like, I really want to. I said, but I'm concerned because I can't be around strobe lights. And he's like, but why? And I said, well, because I'm on seizure medication.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I had been in a car accident, and they had determined that I had seizures from the car accident, from the head trauma, and so they put me on seizure medication. So I spent an entire season doing haunts with my eyes closed. I would anyway, but every time we'd go into like a room with lights, I was like, I can't look because I didn't want to have a seizure because I was so afraid that I was going to have seizures but I couldn't give up haunts. So I would actually wear earplugs because I didn't want to be too stimulated from the sounds. And I would close my eyes if there were strobe lights in any of the rooms. You know my favorite haunt? I can't believe I didn't think of that because he hasn't done anything lately. But Sinister Point.
Sinister's Point. Yeah, they're just coming back out now. They're having I think it's something in June or July. This month.
Always been my favorite.
Yeah.
Always been super easy, hands down. But they didn't do anything last year, so I wasn't thinking about the fact that So we did the Sinister Point Bloody Mary thing. Do you remember the Bloody Mary thing?
I've never been to Sinister's Point. I've seen videos of it. I've seen them. They did a scavenger hunt too, I believe.
I did their scavenger.
Really? That was
awesome.
So nice.
We had to like dig through a dead body with our mouth.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was real pig intestines too, I think.
Oh God.
It was pretty gross.
That's tripas right there, man.
I was I did it first though. I was like, we were the first one to the hotel room, so no one else had been there yet.
Yeah.
And my group, I was just like, I'm only going to do this if I'm first.
Yeah.
Because I'm less afraid of the germs in the dead body intestines than I am of your germs from your face.
Exactly. That makes sense.
I was like, I don't want to catch herpes today. I don't know if you have them, but if you do, I don't want them. So I'm going to dig in first. So we did it. It was actually really fun. I really enjoyed their scavenger hunt. It was really cool. But so they did this Bloody Mary thing, and you went through the mirror. It was so beautifully done. Oh my God, he does such an amazing job. Yeah. So it's this beautiful, like, you go in this bathroom and you like do the Bloody Mary, and then she shows up and you go through the thing and you get separated. And I love being separated at haunts. It's like so much fun. So I'm separated and we're doing the thing. And somehow I got really turned around when we got separated in this little maze area. And the other 3 people that I went through with my husband and 2 guys we didn't know. Well, the 2 guys and my husband get into the main room with like all the doors or whatever, and they get pushed forward in the haunt. But I got separated. So by the time I got to the room, they were gone. So it was just me, and I was kind of waiting for them, and they were like, go forward, go forward. Well, because I had then waited for them thinking that I had beat them, but really they had beat me, I then was just like, well, I don't know where my husband is. They're like, oh, you know, they don't really break character, so you're just kind of like being pushed through. Well, then I got to the locker room scene, and my husband and the 2 boys were in the lockers dealing with the locker room and the coach and everything. And I got held in the hallway, and he was doing the whole thing, like putting his leg up and being sexy, doing the like thing. Because it's really fun. Like it's not like in poor taste. I mean, it is in poor taste, but not in the same way. Not to the extreme of like some of the other things that I've seen in haunts. But it was really fun. Like, 'cause he was just being like dumb and like, you know, like hitting on, like, it was like whatever. And so then I get into the thing, and then I'm still behind them. Like I've somehow become my own group now. So I'm doing the whole attraction by myself at this point.
That seems like fun, honestly.
Well, it was, and I was having no problems with it. But remember, this was back when I was on seizure medication.
Oh, okay.
So my husband, we get to this point where there's like a boat, and you have to give the coin to the dude to get across the river Styx. And so you give him the coin or whatever, and they go across. And then I got into the room. And the boat wasn't there, and I didn't even see it because I couldn't really see very well. I don't think I had my glasses on either at the time. So I was like, I stepped down, and they were like, no, get back up. You're in the river Styx. I'm like, oh, sorry. Oh, okay. So I'm like waiting. I comes back across with the boat. I give him the thing. He takes me across, and I'm going and going. And eventually, I get to a tunnel with a big-ass strobe light.
Oh.
And it's a tunnel with actors like running at you and stuff. And my husband's just waiting there.
Aww.
Terrified.
Yeah.
I mean, I swear he was probably almost to tears. He was so worried.
Oh
he thought that I had gotten somehow ahead of him, or he wasn't sure, and he was afraid, like, because he couldn't find me, and no one would help him find me, and like, they didn't understand that we didn't need to go through together because we were scared. We needed to go through together because if there were any strobe lights, I had to close my eyes, and I couldn't see what I was doing because I was afraid I was gonna have a seizure. So. So we're like, I think it might have been right before that or right, but I ran into him at some point, but I was just like, I did the thing with my eyes closed, like, I did it, like, it was fine, but, like, it was such a weird time, and then eventually I went back and got a second opinion and found out after, like, a year and a half of being on seizure medication that I didn't need to be, and that I didn't have seizures, and that they had just misdiagnosed me, and so I'm fine now, and I don't have to worry about it, so don't worry about me having seizures in your attraction. I'm not going to. But, like, for a while, it was a true fear for me that I was going to literally die
if you
from
stared at
a strobe light.
Yeah.
Like, the silliest little thing that normally wouldn't bother me in a haunt suddenly was a new trigger for me that, like, I had to be afraid of in real life. And so, you know, it was like, they were like, you shouldn't be going through. I'm like, I'm going through your haunt.
Look at that.
I'm not quitting haunts just because someone else thinks that I'm having seizures. Like,
that's
never had a seizure from a strobe light, but what if I do? Like, so yeah, but I remember, like, that was the scariest haunt, I think, for Jeremiah ever, because he got separated from me, and he was so afraid that I had just died in the haunt. Actually, he might have gone all the way through, and I found him at the end. I don't even remember for sure. I know he waited for a really long time at the tunnel, though. But yeah, and they were like, you gotta go. He was like, I'm waiting for my wife.
Oh,
like,
my gosh.
I don't want her to die. And I was like, yeah, I'll be fine.
Oh my god. See, it's vice versa between my girlfriend. She's the brave one. I'm usually the one hiding behind her. Out of the 4 years of us going to haunts together, I've heard her scream, like, out of true terror twice. And that was because, one, it was at the Queen Mary, the B340 maze.
Okay.
Where you go on that bridge that's over, like, that engine room or whatever it is. You go over a bridge, and we thought we saw water in there. So she can't swim, so she was freaked out. I don't like heights, so I was freaked out. They have you know what I mean, with the hydraulic pads.
I hate that bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that bridge.
I do. It's a love-hate thing. Yeah.
Yes, I'm so terrified of heights.
Same here.
Terrified of heights.
It's a struggle getting me on like any ride because I will argue about it. But,
I do roller coasters.
Really?
Poorly, but I do them.
Like if
I get motion sick too now though, because as I've gotten older, I've started getting motion sick like in cars and like. So if I do roller coasters, I have to take Dramamine. So not only do I not like heights, I get motion sick.
Oh my goodness.
So roller coasters are just not really my thing, but I went on one with my friend. She was doing a wig test for her YouTube channel. Her name's Hannah Fossier. So she was like wearing wigs on roller coasters and I was with her and like, I was like, I'll do them, but I really don't like roller coasters anymore.
Oh my God. Which roller coasters did you guys go on?
We did 3 of the ones at Six Flags. We did the blue and green one, which I don't mind that one. That one's fine. But then there's that big one, the Colossus one.
Oh, Goliath?
Or Goliath, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a full, I think it's like a minute or 2 minutes.
Shakes the shit out of you. That one, we did that one. And we did another one. I don't know, you can watch her video.
Yeah, I'm gonna check
You'll see me in it. I don't think she shouts me at it, but I'm in it. Like, you'll see me, like, to the side, like, watching and laughing. And at one point, her thing was coming off, and spoiler alert, but it was like coming off on one of the roller coasters. I won't say which one. And I had my cell phone, so like I don't normally record on roller coasters because I really love Six Flags, and you're not really supposed to. But I grabbed my cell phone and I like just turned it on. I was holding it like down here, like she was here and I was here, and I was like holding my phone like angled at her, just laughing.
Oh my
God. I
God.
couldn't stop laughing. And I was like crying. I was laughing so hard. I was like, oh my God, your hair. So we had fun. So like it was worth it. Like it was worth doing the roller coaster for that. But normally I don't like them.
Yeah, no.
There's one I didn't even think about this one either because I've only done it once. But there's an incredible haunt.
Oh my God.
In hell if I know, Kentucky. I think Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay.
I think it's Kentucky. It's in a cave. Well, it's in a. It's actually in a mine. Hi, Bagheera. Look who came out.
Oh, hi there, little one.
Bagheera.
Hey. Oh, she does.
She gave you the dirtiest look.
I know, right? She does have a tiny head.
I told you she has a tiny head.
She has a tiny head. It's so cute.
The cat's here. She's got a tiny head. Bagheera.
Oh my God. She's like, what the hell is this tripod?
She's got to sniff everything now because it's new. Cool. Anything that's new, she's got to discover it. I'm surprised she came out though. She normally won't even come out. She must like you.
Oh, I'm hoping so. I wore my cat shirt on purpose.
Bagheera.
To come in peace.
So it's in a mine, an old mine, but they call it a cave. And the very first most amazing scare ever. Okay, so this has 2 of the best scares I've ever seen. Ever.
Really?
Ever. And one of them goes against everything that I've said earlier about what I don't like in mazes and haunts. But they did it so well that it was just amazing. And it's totally forgivable because it had a gun in it. I don't care.
Okay.
It was still good. So the first one, you just get in this cave anyway, and it's like dark as hell. You can't see anything. And they tell you don't bring your phones out. Do not bring your phones out. Yeah. Although the guy, after I did the whole thing, was like, if I would have known that you were going to cover it on your YouTube or your blog and that's what you do, I would have been fine with you recording. But I was like, well, I couldn't find anybody to ask ahead of time, and we were on a big schedule here because when we travel, we go to 2 or 3 haunts in a night.
Yeah.
So we drove to Kentucky and we were driving back to Ohio, I think, that night to do other haunts. So we were trying to do Dent, and I don't know, we were doing all sorts of stuff. So anyway, we did this maze in this cave, and you go in. And there's water for real on this bridge. It's not like how it's like there's a bridge and the collapse, but it's an actual bridge over water. Yeah. Because it's in like a cave and there's water down there, and they have to get you through somehow. So there's a bridge, but it doesn't have the hydraulics, and it's nothing scary about the bridge. But it's dark and you can't see anything. You can hear the water. You know it's there. You can't see anything, and you can just feel the handles of the thing to walk through the bridge because you can't see anything. God. And you hear the water, and all of a sudden somebody grabs your ankle out of the water.
That scared me just hearing it. Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was so excited. This is awesome. So I was just like, they're grabbing my ankles in the water. There's swamp monsters in the water. It's so cool. So I love that. So we do this whole thing. There's you're in hell, and there's this whole thing with Satan, and it's just make choices. You make a choice of which door to go through, whether or not it's Jeffrey Dahmer or they give you all these bad people that are in hell, and you have to choose which door to go. Like, and there's actual mazes that you get lost in within the maze. Like,
oh my God.
It took like an hour. I don't know. It took forever. Like, it was so cool. So at one point we're going through, and there's others like chain mazes. There's all sorts of stuff. So we're walking, and we are in the middle of nowhere. You're parking in like a field.
Oh
like,
my God,
you
that's
just
scary.
we were like, this is not the kind of haunt we normally do. And because it's not like LA. So if you live in LA, you do not know what real haunts are. You know what beautifully done, amazing, like incredibly high budget attractions are. You do not go to the haunts like they have on the East Coast or the Midwest, or like those are intensely like different kind of scare. Like it's different because it's not a professional. I mean, they're professional, but they're not professional like.
They're not like sponsored by Sony or like whatever, like some strobe light company.
Do you want to come up here with us? She's like, not really.
Yeah. What, you think she'll like freak out if I try to pet her?
No, she won't hurt you. She might run.
Oh, hi there. You're so friendly. Oh my God.
So it's not like like here, you know, I went through a haunted house that was literally based on a movie that they did a pop up and they built an entire building like in Hollywood.
Nice.
You know, which one was that? It was do you remember?
Was it so it was recently.
It was recent.
Was it It?
It was the It one. Hi. Hey, you're gonna join the video?
There we go.
Kiss. I want one. No kiss. Oh, you're gonna give. Oh, you're getting a kiss.
Oh, I hope
Look
so.
at that.
There we go. Oh, making new friends.
Look at you being friendly.
I know, right?
So the It house, right? It was a completely built house pop up.
It just popped
like
up
it
out of
was.
nowhere.
It was crazy. Like that's what we're used to in LA. That is not what you get in like New Orleans, Kentucky. Like
no, they work
these
with
are
what
like
they got and
intense, really scary. Like you don't know if these actors have really been trained. Like you're like,
or if they've been background checked. You know, what if some of these killers are actual killers?
Like, these are the stories that you hear about. Someone died in the haunt, then they just propped them up and left them as a prop, and people found out, you know, at the end of the season. Like that's the kind of stuff you would never think that could happen at Not Scary Farm.
Yeah, no.
But these haunts, like you're like, is that real? Like, is that a really dead body that they're just like letting it hang out here till the end of the season? Like you don't know because it's just a different mentality. So we're going through this cave with these crazy people who were in swamp costumes in the water. Okay, you don't need to play with the microphone.
She got something to say.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so mad now. She's gonna go away. So we don't know where we are. We're not familiar with this community. And we're going through, and it's been pretty, like, there's some vulgar kind of conversation. Like, Satan was not a nice guy. He was Satan. But it was fun. But they were definitely not the typical character you see in LA. Yeah. So, and they're like good old boys, you know? Like, it's the Midwest. So we're kind of like already a little bit more on edge than we normally would be because we don't feel as safe as we do at Universal or you know, Six Flags. So we're doing this thing, and we are now alone. And we were laughing about something that we had just seen. It was really cool. Like it was a cool moment. This whole thing was full of cool moments. I mean, it was an intensely awesome experience. And we're walking, and we're underground in a cave.
Oh my God.
And I hear a truck.
What?
I hear a truck, and I'm like, do you hear that? And out of nowhere, like just not that far away, like 2 yards, 3 yards away, to the left of us comes a truck at like 30 miles an hour.
In a cave?
In a cave.
What the fuck? How did they...
On like some sort of racetrack. They were just like doing a circle on a racetrack, but we didn't know because we've never been in this cave before. This mine. So we just see the headlights, we see the truck, and the back of the truck is a guy with a mounted machine gun.
What the fuck?
Who starts shooting at us?
Oh my God!
I literally fell to the ground.
Oh hell yeah! You don't know if that's real or not.
Tears.
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm gonna die in a haunted house. I was humiliated.
God.
I was embarrassed. Like I was like, it was good. It was a good. Like it was a great scare. It was like the best scare ever. But like I really like in that moment, I thought I was gonna die. I was like, somebody's mad at this haunt and they're coming by to like, you know, shoot up the place.
Yeah, like,
and
you gonna fire me, I'm gonna fire at
like,
you.
How they get a truck in here?
Oh
Like,
my God.
because, you know, it's like you didn't see it coming if you've never been there before. Now, people who go there every year are like, well, I wish they'd change it up. It's so boring. It's the same thing every year. But
So
like,
how do you say it's a truck in a cave?
it's a truck with a machine gun mounted to the back of it and an actor shooting at you.
Oh my God.
In a cave going like 30 miles an hour, like past you. And I was
That's
just
crazy.
like, I literally hit the ground and was like crying. And I was just like,
Oh, hell yeah.
was that real? And Jeremy was like, I don't know. We gotta go. And I'm like, I don't know if it's real. I think it's real.
Oh my God.
So, and then I was like laughing when I realized like it was just happening over and over because we could hear it then. Once we knew what it was, we could hear it. We were like, oh, it's part of the haunt. But like at first we didn't know. Like there's no point at Universal that I've ever gone, oh my God, is that
Like, we
real?
might
Are
die,
they really
yeah.
gonna shoot us right now? Or oh, is that real? Are they really hanging someone in the hanging at knots? Like, of course not.
Yeah.
But in these Midwest haunts,
You don't
there
know.
were moments where I was
don't
like,
know.
is that real? I don't know.
I'm definitely gonna have to make a road
So,
trip out there.
that was
is-
really good, too.
That sounds amazing.
Oh,
out
it was.
there.
It's probably one of my
Do you know
favorite.
the name of those guys?
I do. I don't know it off the top of my head,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's definitely on my blog.
Okay.
So the thing is, there's a lot of stuff that I've done over the years. I'm really bad with remembering the names of things.
Oh yeah, I can understand.
Especially after the car accident and the seizure medication and all that
Yeah.
stuff happened with it tweaked my memory a little bit. So it's not as sharp as it used to be. Plus I'm getting older. But I do know the name of it. I just cannot think of it. But it's something cave.
Okay.
It's like something cave.
Just type in cave in Google.
If you go onto my blog and look in Kentucky, I think it's the only one I did in Kentucky.
Okay. Definitely.
So, because we were in Ohio, and that's where they have the border, right? It's Kentucky and Ohio.
I believe
by the
so.
airport. It was like just north of the airport. So you'll be able to find it.
Yeah.
If you go out that way, do that. I mean, Dent was fun. Like we did all the top haunts, but that was great. There's also the one in New Orleans that's on the way out to go to 13th Gate. That's incredible, which I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head either. And they have one of the best opening shows I've ever seen. So think of the hanging from knots, and then just multiply it times like 20, and it's like that good.
Is it House of Shock? No, that's
Yeah.
Is that?
House
I
of
think
Shock.
that's in Philly though.
Then no, it's not House of Shock.
Okay.
I've done House of Shock though.
Really? I know.
I've done Philly too. So
yeah, the basement in Philly. Or no, not the scare house in.
No, but I'm gonna look now and see.
Yeah.
I can look at my blog quicker than I can tell you to do it, and I can
I know,
tell you the
right?
name of it. But yeah, it wasn't House of Shock. It was. We did House of Shock though. It was fun. We did a bunch in like Boston and Philly area and stuff too. I mean, we've traveled all over.
Yeah, that's really good.
House of Shock. Why can't I think of which one that is now? Like it was good. It was good.
That's the one with like those like these guys. I know these guys. They used to like be friends with one of the guys from Pantera. I forgot the name. And so like they're just like a bunch of dudes who are really into heavy metal. They put all together all this haunt, and it's really extreme. It does get like a little like satanic stuff and everything like that.
I feel like that's the same one I'm thinking of though.
I know it's the one
to-
where a lady died from a heart attack, and once they like kind of like once the ambulance came by and they revived her and stuff like that, they said like, hey, we're sorry. What can we do to like make it up to you? She asked for 2 more tickets to go back again, and I was like, that's dedication.
That's
right
awesome. I love that.
Exactly.
That's me.
there. Exactly. I can just picture you doing that. You know, like oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, so many haunts on my list.
I know, right?
But yeah, it was fun. I can't find it off the top of my like list here.
That's
oh wait,
fine.
13th Gate. It was that year that we did 13th Gate.
Okay,
It was House of Shock. House of Shock is
It was
Louisiana.
House of Shock. Oh, okay, no.
Yeah, that's not Philly.
I don't know why I thought it was Philly.
It's House of Shock because there's like the Satan thing and the nuns
Yeah.
and yes. Did you do it?
I've never been out of California. Well, besides Texas, that's it. But like, it wasn't for haunts. It was like for family stuff. But for haunts, everything's all in SoCal. That's all I've done so far. I'm looking to do. I was thinking about doing McKinney's Manor since now that he's in Alabama, by law he's required to have a safe word.
I thought he got kicked out of Alabama.
No, he got kicked out of San Diego, and now he's in Alabama.
He got kicked out of Alabama, too.
He got kicked out of Alabama, too. Russ, what are you doing, bro?
I think he got kicked out of Alabama, because I watched something about it where he rebuilt everything in, like, another state. I thought it was Alabama, but maybe I'm wrong. He moved from San Diego to somewhere.
Yeah.
He built everything up. He was required to have safe words and everything. The community didn't really want him there, and he ended up having to move. Tried to move back to San Diego, and I think he ended up in Mexico.
Mexico.
And then I was told, last time I heard, and maybe this is not all true because I don't really follow his haunt anymore, but last time I heard that there was, it was going on in like over the border and they were picking you up in San Diego or wherever and driving you down to the attraction.
Really?
But I didn't know for sure. But I'm pretty sure he left, whether he got kicked out or not, but I think that they made it difficult for him. And so he ended up leaving after he got all the permits and everything, and then they didn't want to process the permits properly. I don't know. There was a whole thing on one of the documentaries I watched. I've watched several documentaries.
Nice. Have you seen the Haunters Art of the Scare on Netflix?
I feel like I have.
Oh my god, it's such a good. I've watched it like at the time of Spook Show. I've already watched it like 8 times, and it came out like probably like a month or 2 before Spook Show.
Okay.
And I've watched it
a lot of the people at Spook
really
Show
good.
were telling me about it.
Yeah. I keep fucking up the guy's last name, but John, from the director of it, real cool guy. I was fangirling like crazy when I got to talk to him and everything like that. And he's been like kind of like anytime he's on a live stream, he's been kind of like telling me about like all these like other places to check out and everything like that. And he's just a really cool guy. It's nice to know that there's other people out there that are covering this type of art and everything like that. And where was I going with this? I don't know. It's just kind of
where you were talking about.
Oh, we're talking about documentaries of haunts. Have you seen?
And I was looking up the other thing after House of Shock, and I couldn't find it. But I did find Massacre on Marshall Road, which I totally forgot to mention. Was probably the only time I've been scared by actors.
Really?
Repeatedly.
Over
over and over. They got me so many times. Best actors I've ever seen in a haunt, and it's on a military base. They're all military actors.
Oh, really?
It's their like little home haunt that they do on their military base for their families.
Okay.
But it's just basically plain. There's nothing there. It's just like fog and garbage bags.
Oh my god.
But these guys are so skilled because they're all trained military guys that they like would sneak up behind me and I would be like, ah! And then they would be here. And I was like, how did you get there? Like, how did you, what? Like, they just kept getting me like so many times.
That's awesome.
Best actors that I've seen in a maze.
That's always really good. Like, I love mazes. Like, that's how it was my first time going to Knott's at oh no, yeah, it was Knott's, and they were doing like a little thing for what was that movie? Quarantine, the first one, where they were in the apartment complex. We went through. Me and my cousins went through a room, and it was that stairway scene where the guy falls down from the stairway.
And Knott's?
Yeah, Knott's Scary Farm. Yeah,
I remember this.
It was like 2010, I think. 2009, 9 or 10, one of those two. I was still in high school, and yeah, it was a stairway scene where the guy falls down. So you hear like a and then boom, splat, and there's a dead body right there. And I was like, and then out of nowhere, it's like the elevator door like dings, and then a bunch of monsters come out. And I was like, shit. And then as you back up from that, behind the curtain that was right behind me, more monsters came out, and they were like, and I was like, and I fucking just ran, and I left my cousins. And I could just hear them going like, Justin, don't leave. And I was gone already. It was so fucking creepy, but it was amazing.
Have you done, it's like the best storytelling haunt in LA?
Delusion, maybe?
Yes.
No, I wanted to.
When you said stairwell and falling, it made me think of that. I was like, oh, you'll love what they do when you see it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of their stuff.
They're visually one of the most impressive things you'll see.
I was watching this one documentary on Travel Channel that they had of them, and it's really crazy how like the pyrotechnics, the lighting and like all the special effects they do.
Their special effects are incredible.
Exactly. So I'm like really trying to get like a good group of friends to go along, because if I bring some of my friends, a lot of my friends, we're from the ghetto, like, you know, like most of them. I took my cousin to 17th Door the first year I went, and he looked like he wanted to punch everyone. He was just like straight mad face.
This is a different thing. It's not that.
But I can imagine
say
him
taking people to 17th Door as a first experience is probably not the best decision.
Probably wasn't. Yeah.
Because they set you up to kind of be angry about life.
Exactly.
But no, this is a different kind of storytelling.
Okay.
And no one really gets in your face. Oh, they do touch you and they do make you do stuff and you do eat things and different stuff like that. But it's not in the same way of like tension or anything where it's like super intense. It's just storytelling. Because the vampire one that they did was just incredible. And that has a lot of like, I mean, they've all been incredible. But the fall out of the window the first year that we went, there's that mansion and the guy just falls and you're outside and you're just like, what the hell?
You're just waiting in line. It's like, oh, there's a guy. Oh my god! It's like
it was incredible. Like they do incredible stunts and stuff there.
I believe Neil Patrick Harris, like he like promotes it or like
NPH, I think was a producer the first couple of years. I don't know if he still does.
Okay, then.
But yeah,
that's one thing that really got me into it. I was because I love him in like How I Met Your Mother and stuff like that. So
he used to be the president of the castle. So
really nice.
Yeah. He's a magician.
He's a magician. So so all the whole thing with How I Met Your Mother is like him doing like real magic tricks or something.
I don't watch How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, you don't watch it? Okay, never mind.
He's a magician.
Okay.
He did a big magic effect at one of the award shows where he was the host.
Really? Did not know that.
I don't remember what it was. It was the Emmys.
I'm not like that into magic anymore. I used to be like really into Houdini when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
And like I like whenever I go to Vegas, I'll check out the little shops they had up at different casinos. But
there's some pretty cool Houdini rooms. If you haven't done escape rooms with Houdini, there's some pretty cool escape rooms with Houdini. There's one in San Diego that has an actor that plays Bess.
Okay.
Which is really fun. I like them. I don't like the company that much because I've had a lot of problems with just customer service. They're either really, really good or they're not.
Yeah.
Depending on who's there that day.
Yeah.
But there's another one that is down in Orange County that is done it was created by magicians.
Really?
And it's based on like a Houdini concept type thing as well.
Oh shit, nice.
And that one's they do a really good job.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Do you know the name of that place?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it's like
I
a
do. No, I know it. I just can't think of it right now.
Oh, okay.
And I know the guys personally, and I'm just like, I feel really embarrassed that I'm like, I can't think of the name of their game right now. But it's the Magic Room in OC. Like you'll find it.
Yeah, I'll look up that stuff right there.
It's called Magic something. Something.
That's all cool.
Magic.
But anyways, Christine, we're come to an end finally. Thank you so much for being here.
He's like, I'm finally done talking.
Oh no, it's fine. You've been doing most of the talk. I love that when other people are doing most of the talk. I love your cat right now.
Bagheera's just cuddling. I don't even know what's up. She's just so friendly right now.
It's okay. If only my girlfriend was just like close to me. That would make things a lot better. I'm just kidding. I love you, baby. But
Bagheera getting the cuddles.
Exactly.
Oh
shit, getting comfortable. She's gonna be here a while. There we go.
She's like, somebody knows how to scratch me.
But yeah, thank you so much, Christine, for being here and for letting me into your lovely home and petting your lovely cat. And hopefully we'll be able to collab more in the future. I'd love to take you to some haunts, or you can show me some escape rooms and all that stuff. One thing I will let you know.
You're gonna say hey to the microphone, Bagheera?
I know, right?
It's like the sound just got bad all of a sudden.
I know, it's just rushing. There we go.
Bagheera, don't play with the microphone, sweetheart.
Viewers are just like... Yeah.
She does this when I live stream. She'll just come up on my lap in the middle of a live stream. And like, because you could edit, if you wanted, you could edit this out. But I can't edit a live stream. And so I'm just trying to live stream, and she'll just be knocking the camera over.
I probably wouldn't. Like, who doesn't love a cat, you know?
Yeah. It's really annoying though when I'm like, every single time I live stream, she's just gotta be there. And like, she likes to walk on my computer. And like, you like to send people money on PayPal, don't you?
There we go. All right, but... Again, like I've already said this 3 times, but thank you so much, Christine. Thank you, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check her out on Instagram. Where else can they find you? What's
I'm Instagram at Christine Barger official for me personally, or you can find me as The Haunt Girl. My blog is thehauntgirl.com. My YouTube channel is The Haunt Girl. It's all The Haunt Girl.
It's all The Haunt Girl.
For this stuff. Yeah, if you just want to like see me do ventriloquism or follow my cats, then there's a lot of other stuff you can follow me and find all that on my Instagram or my Twitter as well.
Definitely.
That's all under my name, or Bagheera Fun if you like the cat. Huh? Oh, kisses!
Alright, well, we'll catch you guys next time in the next video. Have a good one.
Make sure you subscribe to his channel.
Oh, please do.
And like the video. Share it with your friends.